Hi, and welcome to another Seeing Double video. I'm designer Jen Gallagher, and today I'm going to be using frames on both my layout as well as my bonus project. And first I'm going to start with some elements that I have pulled from my stash, and you will note that I have used elements from lots of different manufacturers just in an effort to use up some of my stash. And so I have pulled elements that have soft teals in them, and they come, like I said, from a variety of different manufacturers. So I'm going to add this tag at the top, and I'm not going to use the whole tag, so I can cut off the extra, and then I can use this piece for later. And I want to add a bit of ribbon to it, so I'm going to take a standard hole punch and punch through the top. And then I just have some sheer white ribbon. You can use whatever ribbon you have on hand, or you can even use baker's twine. We'll just tie this into a bow. I look for ways to incorporate fun elements such as ribbons, textured items, wood veneer, just lots of different items. So I'll adjust the bow until I have it exactly how I want, and then I'll use glue dots to adhere it to the layout because I don't want it moving. We'll just tuck this in the top here. Then I have a little tab, and many of these elements are die cut elements from Studio Calico, October Afternoon, Jilly Bean Soup, just a lot of different ones. And then I want to stamp a date on it, so I'm going to use some StazOn ink, and I'm just going to stamp the year. And the year was 2012. And because this is a date stamp and has both the month as well as the days of the week, I want to just do part of this stamp. So I'll ink it up, and then I'm going to mask off part of the stamp. So depending on where I want the stamp image to fall, and I'm only going to use the 2012, I'm going to ink off just the part where it includes the year and the date. So you can see part of the date shows up on the mask part, and part of it shows up on the tab, and that's how I mask off when I'm stamping. Then I'm going to add a doily to this pennant, and this pennant is from a little mini album card thing from Heidi Swapp. We'll just add the doily here. Then a lot of the frames I'm using are these Crate Paper, the Pier frames, and they are old slide frames, and they come in a variety of sizes. They have medium, large, and small in different finishes, and they have some fun printed type. And then I have printed my photos at home so that they will work inside the frame, but you could take a 4x6 photo and you can crop it. If you have square punches, you can use square punches, or you can just use a paper cutter or paper trimmer to adjust as you see fit. You can just add photos in here. I'll show you later how I'm going to add journaling in one of them as well. And then we'll add some additional glue dots on the back and adhere this to our layout. And I'm going to slightly push this to the side so the doily is over on this side. Then I have an arrow die cut. Again, I'm mixing and matching lots of different manufacturers. This one is from Jilly Bean Soup. And I will be sure to link you to all the products in the post on 2Ps. And then this is a die cut that I've gotten from a variety of different manufacturers, and I just like the number 2. Below the pennant, I'm going to add a 4x6 photo. And the fun thing about using these frames is it draws attention to the photos. And I can do photos that I want highlighted, such as detail photos, or I can use other photos. This is a small die cut from Studio Calico that says "You Are the Best" in pink. And when I'm planning my layout for these videos, I do get everything ready ahead of time just to make the process easier in the video. Then this is another sheet from a similar card that works with this Heidi Swapp card. I have several of these, and they're fun as an album, or they're also fun cut apart. We're just going to layer that one right here. And then I have another photo frame from the crepe paper frame set that I showed you. And on this particular one, I've printed journaling. And this is some camping paper from Echo Park Paper from the Happy Camper collection. But I've printed my journaling on the soft teal side, and it has arrows on it. And I'm going to place this inside the frame. So frames can be used for journaling items, or you can layer embellishments inside. You can do a lot of different things with frames. They're not necessarily just for photos. So I will be sure to link you to a lot of different options for frames. Just make sure the glue dot doesn't show. And then we'll attach this to the layout. When I have a heavier element, such as this chipboard frame, I tend to use glue dots rather than my dot runner. We'll center this on top of the die cut album piece. Then I have some chipboard pieces from Little Yellow Bicycle, and this is from their collection, and it's predominantly a boy collection, but I pulled out these soft blue clouds, and we'll attach these at the top of the frame so you can see how I'm embellishing the frames a little bit. We'll just overlap those slightly. Then to draw attention to my journaling, I am going to use some wood veneer pieces from Basic Gray's Hipster collection. And to adhere these, I'm just going to use some smaller glue dots, and I'll just add some glue dots in a variety of places so it's hidden. You could also use wet adhesive to adhere these wood veneer shapes. And you could rub them with stamping ink or mist them if you wanted to change the look or color of the wood veneer. And that just helps draw attention to that journaling spot. Then I want to further embellish this square, and so I'm going to add a typewriter chipboard element from American Crafts. I'm going to add a die cut from Jelly Bean Soup. I'm going to add a die cut from Studio Calico, and then I have a button that is tied with twine, and we're going to layer these on the frame. First I'm going to start with the Hello Love die cut shape. Then we will add the typewriter, and I love this soft pink and soft blue combination. And we're going to overlap that die cut just a bit. Then we will add the little gray pinked circle right on top of the typewriter, and then the little white button tied with twine. And then I'll cut off any excess twine that I have. Now I want to add some pins, and I have two different kinds of stick pins, and I just went through my stash and selected some in a soft white color, and they're not from the same manufacturer, so you can mix and match manufacturers. One is a flower and one is a heart. Then I have another frame that I wanted to show you. This is also from the Pier, but this is their die cut, and it has a gold foil accent to it. And again, I'm going to adhere this to a photo. So this time, because it's a die cut, I can use my dot runner. And I've pre-cropped a photo for this frame. And I'll just center my daughter's picture inside the frame. Make sure you have the type upside right. And it's fun that they're bringing back these fun slide elements. I love these vintage shapes that we're seeing returning. And then we'll go ahead and adhere that to the top of the layout. And we'll tuck it above the journaling area and behind the pennant shape. Just overlap it just a little bit. And then I have a number 9. This is from Fancy Pants. And I thought it would be fun to bring another number element into this die cut. And then on top of this number 9, I'm going to add some Studio Calico wood veneer hearts. And these are already dark. And wood veneer comes in a lot of different finishes. If you like this dark effect and you have a natural wood element like this one down here, you can use a dark brown ink pad to rub it across the hearts and change the color. Then I have a title that I've cut from my Silhouette machine, and it says Be Present, because it's talking about how my daughter's growing up too quickly. And to adhere that to my layout, I'm going to use a glue pen, and I'll just paint the back of it. You could also run this through your Xyron machine if you prefer. But I find this glue pen works very well for these kinds of shapes. We'll just glue that to the top of that Polaroid slide frame, and then we'll finish off with the word B. Now I wanted to add a little bit more shimmer and shine to this layout, and a hot trend that we're seeing right now are sequins. And in the latest collection from Studio Calico, they have a sequin set, and it has both pink and silver, and I'll show you all the different colors that come in this set, as blue and wood grain and a mustard yellow, but I pulled out the silver and the pink. And to adhere these onto my layout, I'm just going to use glue dots because they're the same size. And I'll just add kind of a visual triangle to two different areas of my layout. And you could use a wet adhesive for this step as well. It just depends on the look that you want. And then at the top I'll do two pink and a silver, so just to mix it up a little bit. So you can see how using frames helps draw attention to different elements on your page, and helps both frame photos, create little vignettes, as well as frame journaling. So let's go ahead and use these same frames to create a bonus project. So let's go ahead and make a card today. And so again, I'm using some of that Happy Camper Aero paper and a white card base, and we'll go ahead and adhere this to the card. And I cut my pattern paper to fit the card. And then from the Heidi Swapp little mini album I've been using, I'm going to use the side that has the pink hearts, and I've trimmed it down to fit my card. And we'll just place this in the center here. And then I'm going to use some Bella Boulevard pink washi tape. We'll place that across the top. And then I'm going to tuck it inside the card so you don't see all the tape. Tear off the extra. And when I finish the card, I can finish this inside and you won't even notice that. And then we've been using a lot of the frames, and that's what we're focusing on today. So I do have a frame. I picked a pink frame this time. And we'll go ahead and adhere that to our card with some pop dots, or rather glue dots. And then I've been using a lot of different die cut elements, and this is a fun chipboard camera that we're going to use. Just some fun different elements that you can add to your page. And then from the Studio Calico die cuts, this one says "You're beautiful." And this would be a good card to give my daughter as she prepares to end the school year. Another white button tied with twine, and we'll place that in the center of the lens of the camera. And then to match my layout, I'm going to use some wood veneer hearts and match the hearts that you can find in the back here. And again, these are already darkened for you. And I'll just use a glue dot to hold them in place. So there you can see both a layout and a card that focus on frames, and how beautifully frames can frame elements as well as photos and journaling. Thank you for joining me for another Seeing Double video. Watch for a new video coming soon.